This is the future.
Just so you know, there are very old and rare weapons that finally got buff after over years of waiting. In fact, the first gun is predated when Warframe was starting, and only the first Tenno has access to the strongest variant of it. I'm talking about the Braton Vandal and the Lato Vandal. Now, I know that both these weapons have Prime variant, and in fact, the Prime variants have better stats compared to the Vandal variants. However, a Braton Prime set is only sold for 10 platinum, while the Lato Prime is only available to owners of the Grandmaster Founders package that was offered between December 19, 2012 and November 1, 2013. So, for those who don't Excalibur Prime, then we stick with the Lato Vandal, which is the second strongest variant of the pistol. But get this, both Braton Vandal and Lato Vandal are sold for 250 platinum on average. This is because these two are hard to farm, and the only way to get them right now is through Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. If you are not a newbie, then skip this part of the video. So for those who don't know, Elite Sanctuary Onslaught is a higher difficulty mode of Sanctuary Onslaught. In addition to featuring stronger specimens, tile sets and enemies are predetermined every week, and usage of Warframe abilities must be staggered or they will become temporarily disabled. A rank 30 Warframe or a Mastery rank 30 player whose Warframe has been polarized once is required to play Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Enemy level starts at 60-70 and gradually increases to 150-180 beyond Zone 15, 200-220 beyond Zone 20, and 250-280 beyond Zone 25. Increased efficiency drain caps at Zone 15. Also, ability are disabled once you spam them with a few exemptions such as Korra's Whip Claw. And lastly, the reward rotation follows the same ABC rotation. Rewards are given per 2 successful zones in an ABC rotation in both Sanctuary Onslaught and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught to players before they jump into the data conduit. Taking a look at the rewards of the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, you would at least need to do 8 rounds of Elite Sanctuary before leaving and then rerunning the mission again. However, be wary of the fact that the drop chance is pretty low, and it only has a 2% chance to drop. That's about 49 whole runs of 8 rounds Elite Sanctuary Onslaught to get a chance to get the components. But if you are not lucky enough, then it would be more than that. In terms of platinum farming, I would not advise this method as it would take longer compared to the prime parts farming. Cracking relics and selling prime parts may be some sort of small-time business in Warframe, but it's better since you can sell a lot while farming for a short duration. The RNG really sucks with the Vandal parts in the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, and I think players will price it high right now that it has an in-canon version. But are the in-canon version good? The latter becomes a red crit monster with the in-canon form. In my tier 2, I choose the one that increases the damage after an empty reload because it's more universal compared to the one that needs overshield. For the tier 3 evolution, it's a personal preference and just choose the perk that you think is good for your playstyle. In my case, I just choose the ammo efficiency on headshot. For its final evolution I decided to go with Death Trap Trigger. The in-canon for Lato Vandal is super busted with a galvanized setup and a primer gun against Steel Path and beyond special units like Demolished. It combo really well with Cedo equipped as your primary primer gun, and every time you switch to your Lato, you'll gain addition crit chance and crit damage. This is super satisfying, especially when you don't have any Riven just yet for constant red crit for this weapon. For the build, it's the basic critical chance. Dual stats as I don't want to spend more forma to get 90% elemental mod. But if you want to min-max it, then max elemental mods are better since it works perfect with a primer gun with the Death Trigger tier 4 evolution. If I can roll a good crit chance, critical damage on my Riven, then I will replace either Galvanized Shot on this build or the Hornet Strike since I already got secondary Merciless for damage. However, I always use Hornet Strike in Duviri Paradox though as sometimes it's so much better in terms of killing or a whim with Hornet Strike. For the in-canon Braton, I choose to have Daring Reverie as its second evolution. The reason behind this is that the increase in damage by munition grit is annoying for me since it consumes ammunition fast. For the tier 3 evolution, I pick Gunsmoke to pick up. It's not the best in slot, but only a personal preference as I just love that gimmick that you restore ammunition when you hit an enemy behind the target. And lastly, for the final evolution, it's either Critical Parallel or Survivor's Edge for me. I did not go with Prelude Might as I just want to go maximum crit chance with the in-canon Braton. On its in-canon, The Breton turns into a gun that has innate heat damage and have a small area of effect that allows it to hit targets grouped together in around 3 meters, and can be improved with primed Firestorm for a 4.32 meters. Now, I don't have the incarnate form for my Breton Prime yet, as this is the first time I have farmed the Prime variant. I only got the normal Breton in my arsenal and I'm planning to evolve the Prime version of it next week. The build I will use for my incarnate Breton is this. Well, as you might expect, the same generic incarnate build. I don't know about you, but I'm having this experience wherein I see some best in slot mods in the incarnate form right now, and most of them are galvanized, crit and dual status mods. Almost all of my incarnate builds have these mods. While I don't complain, we are seeing another meta unfolding in Warframe. Also, I don't know what will happen with the future prices of both Vandal weapons, but I guess it will further skyrocket as it's pretty rare to get these weapons right now, and the incarnate form just boosts their effectiveness in real missions. This has always been the case in Warframe. The rarest loot are those hard to farm, but this doesn't mean that they are the best or the most powerful in the game. Most of them are just collector items, just like the rare John Pridman poster, but I do hope that Digital Extremes will buff those other rare weapons in the game that are hard to farm so that somehow, we can find some reason to use them. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.